Hello and welcome from Dave M0OGY. Hope you're all doing well. Well, in today's video, taking a look at the new Anytone AT5289 M2. This is an update on the earlier 5289 and is just about to be launched this month. So what it is, it's a high power radio which operates on both AM and FM modes of operation. It has an output power of 60 watts PEP on AM and 50 watts FM. The bands are standard. It's set on the ham bands, the 10 metre amateur radio band, and operates between 28 MHz and 29.695 MHz. With a modification, which I will show you later in the video, it will operate on the Muti-norms Citizens Band Radio band. Obviously not legal to do so, it's not type approved for that, but it will work between 26.565 and 27.991.25 MHz. And there is also an option for full export, which is classed as the HF mode, and that works between 24.715 and 30.105 MHz. As I just said, I will show you the export mod at the end of the video. Specifications of the radio: it has a current draw of just 10 amps, so not too much for such a high power radio, and has a power input of 13.2 volts DC. It's quite a small transceiver with a size of 169 millimeters long by 159 millimeters wide by 48 millimeters high, and has an overall weight of 1.02 kilograms. So in the next part of the video we'll take a look around what comes with a radio. That is your typical Anytone box. You have the transceiver unit, a microphone which is an electric condenser type mic with a 6-pin plug on it. You have a black painted bracket. This one came with a programming lead which is on your right and plugs into the microphone socket on the front panel. Bag of fixtures and fixings, and also a manual which is in English. So looking across the front panel, we'll take a peek and see what the controls it has. The default setting for the screen is actually red. I did film this video with it in red and it looks very pretty in the red colour, but is absolutely atrocious on camera, so I decided to refilm it with a green background. As you can see, the lettering better on film. So moving from left to right, you have a squelch and auto squelch control, a volume on off, the 6-pin mic socket. All these buttons across the bottom are dual controls, so you have to go into the function button, which is on the channel change, to get into the dual control. So you've got dim, colour, you can alter that on there. You've got RF gain, high cut filter, mode between AM and FM, noise blanker filter, echo and Roger beep, obviously aimed at the CB market, dual watch and scan, frequency and banding, set and tone squelch, and finally exit and lock. Then the 4 buttons at the top, you've got play and record, so you can actually call a CQ. You've got the memory programmable memories, and the emergency channels, which obviously on the CB would be 9 and 19. The rotary channel encoder, which doubles up as the button for getting into the menus. So that's a look at the front panel. I'll show you hopefully some of the features in there. So to get in it, you've if you want to obviously press that button in there, that's your function button. You press it once quickly, so that'll alter various parameters, so you can for instance turn a lock on, he says, and that it goes straight to setting your clock. So it does have a built-in clock and shows the voltage at 12.7 volts DC on your left, so that does that as well. So you can do that. I think it's a longer press. Yeah, you've gone into the function thing, so if you want to, for instance, that's your modes, so you can some of the functions. Press it again, so press OK to obviously exit. Right, so now these are some of your features. So key beeps. The first one is key beeps, that's the one I turned off. So BP is key beeps. Moving down, you've got Vox, your emergency channels, Roger beeps. I think you can, there you go, one Roger beep. That's your Roger beeps. Best thing to do is turn them straight off. Echo, power, so it's got 3 power settings. The lowest being 4 watts. I think the middle one's 25 watts and then 50. Display colours, we'll go through them. So green is the one we're coming back to. Green, like a blue colour. Cyan, not a bad colour, is it? Yellow. A little purple, a bit garish. White colour, that's the default colour. Red, which I quite like, but absolutely atrocious on film, as I said. And green, so we'll go back to green. So that's your parameter, various adjustments, and then if you just do escape them, you press OK, and back to frequency. So that's a look at the front panel. That's your microphone. It's the well-made Anytone electric condenser type. You've got up and down channel keys and a programmable center button, as most of these mics have now. Fits nice in the hand, that one. Very nice mic with a 6-pin microphone plug on it. So the power lead is hardwired, not too keen on that. It does have a single fuse in line. So on the next part of the video we'll take a peek at the rear panel. Welcome back. So this is your rear panel. It's got a substantial black painted heatsink, antenna socket. You have a 3.5mm jack plug, which is for your extension speaker, and I pretty much assume it'll work on the PA speaker, etc. Hardwired lead, quite substantial, but I would like to have seen at least a piggyback joint in it. So that's your rear panel. Next part of the video we'll just take a peek underneath and see where the serial number is stuck on. Right, that's the underside of the radio with a downward facing speaker, which looks quite large. There is your serial number and your FCC type approval decal. Welcome back. So we're having a look inside the Anytone AT5289 M2 now. So as can be seen, it has a substantial aluminium die-cast chassis with a black heatsink. All surface mount technology, extremely well made, as pretty much any Anytone product is. You can see it's very neat and tidy. There's the downward facing speaker, looks a substantial one, plugs into the side of the main board. Lots of shielding for the PA stage. We've got a link lead ribbon cable from the front PCB, which is behind the fascia, to the main circuit board. Looks really well made, it certainly does. Lots of shielding. Everything's shielded, as can be seen there. And I will show you where the export mod is. I already had a look at doing this when it came, so that's your export mod. It's got just a single jumper with no wire, and as it comes from the factory it's set to 1 and 2, and you move it across to 2 and 3. So that's it, no jumper wire, nothing else, it's just that black jumper there just behind the main board, the ribbon cable. So in the next part of the video we'll take a look at the actual export mod and how to enable it. Welcome back. So this is the export mod. So what you do basically is turn the radio on, and at the same time hold buttons 5 and 6 in, which is frequency set or band and tone squelch. We'll do that now. So hold them in tight, turn on, there you go. So it comes on in the hammer mode of operation. So to change it, all you do is change the channel change. So you've got the HF, which is the export mod. So if you want to alter it to CB radio, as I said earlier, it's not a type approved CB radio. While the power output is adjustable for 4 watts, 25 and 50, it's still not technically legal to use on there, but it's there, and I'm showing this for educational purposes only. So if you want CB, you press the button in on the channel change. There you go, and it's gone to the default CB setting and it's gone bright red. So I'll be back in a moment and show you this a little better, as the red is terrible on camera. Right, welcome back. So yes indeed, it's set on the CB mode. It turns itself back on the default setting of bright red, and it comes set on the EU multi-norm band. So if you wish to change to the UK FM, which also incorporates the SEPT mid-band, which is also known as the FCC band in America, I will show you how to do that next. So the way you do that, you turn the radio off again, and just holding the 1 button, the frequency button, that will change. So I'll show you that next anyway. Right, so to change the operation on the CB mode, so you basically hold the band button in, turn on, there you go, so it's flashing EU. So firstly I'll show you the various multi-norm settings. So you've got EU, CE, the U for UK, Polish, Poland, Italy 2, I think that one is, DE for Germany, back to EU, CE, and back to UK. So to enable the UK FM, you just press the button in on the channel change. You can just see my thumb press it, there you go, on the right. The U stops flashing, turn the radio off, leave it a second or two, turn it back on, and it's in the UK mode. There you go, it's on the, well, channel 9 at the moment, but so if you want to go between, scroll through the various modes. So at the moment, just with a U on your, if you look on your left, the U signifies a SEPT band, so it'll work. There you go, look, UK, there you go. So if you look right on your left at the bottom, UK, so it's on UK FM now. AM, which is a SEPT band on AM, an FM on the scepter band, and back to UK. So it's set on UK FM now, so it's channelized. We can put it onto the frequency just to prove that it's on the UK FM, so I'll do that next. Right, so I've just adjusted it from the channel readout to the frequency, and obviously you can also, it'll work in the VFO mode. So if you wish on the, on the export mod, the HF bands, which I'll show you that next in a moment. That's your banding, band B, C, D, E, F, G, H, J, we're on I now, J, K, so back to K, we're down to 24715, L 25165, back to A. So that's your banding on what the class as a HF bands as such. And so if you just go to band A, say, press the button in on the channel change, you're back there. So I'll be back in a moment to offer my conclusions on the new Anytone AT5289 M2. Right, so welcome back to the conclusion of the Anytone AT5289 M2. Certainly a nice radio, it's well made, high power for the ham bands. I'm sure many will use it on the CB bands, but it's a decent radio, and in the future video I'll be showing it in action on the 10 metre amateur radio band. So on that note, thanks for watching, have a good week. 7-3 from Dave, M0 OGY 26 Alpha Tango 025. Bye bye.